In this video we look at the search and collocation functions in Lancsbox, a software developed at Lancashire University by Václav and his team, and which can be used in different kinds of computers.
Hi, let's look at the simple search functions in Lancsbox. So here I have the times corpus loaded, and then across the top are the different tools. So we want KWIC. KWIC is keyword in context, and I'm just looking to look for the word find. Type that in and do search. It'll take a little bit of time to bring up those examples. We'll leave WELP for another time, which deals with the range information. Let's give it a second. Okay. So this is a keyword in context, right? So here the keyword means the search word, and here it's called a kind of node. So the search word was find, and then this keyword in context gives us this kind of display, where for each line the search word is centered, and then there's some number of words each side. Different ways of doing the context, but that's the default way of doing it here. And so one advantage of having the keyword here is you're not looking to try and find out where in the sentence the keyword is. It's kind of lining up nicely, and then we can easily look to the left and to the right. And then over here we have just two, tells you the source file for that instance. And there's quite a lot of instances here. So, at least hundreds, not thousands. So it's a little bit hard to search through all of those. So in this case, we'll just do the sorting, and since it's a verb, we're usually more interested in what happens after the verb, right? So the verbs tend to be kind of closely connected with their objects. You find certain things. The people or the things who are doing the finding are more varied, but it's more kind of specific for the following words. And so to do that, it's going to hopefully just click here, and so now it's sorting to the right. Here we see this 147. So when you do the sorting, the order is punctuation, numbers, letters. Okay, and this 147 is just kind of a code, probably for quotation marks. So it's just the way that this corpus is coding quotation marks. Singular quote or double quote is by using these kind of open quote, close quote codes. So we can kind of ignore that. And then with this kind of sort, we can just scroll through fairly quickly. Here's all the finders. Well, maybe here's something interesting. Like you see with this display, then if it's a repeated word, it kind of stands out visually. So here's find a way, and a way of doing something. Find a way through is slightly different, a way to do something. So here's kind of a phrase, there's a kind of phraseology of find. One thing is this connection between find and way, and then either of or to. It's a kind of an idiom, and this is maybe more kind of slightly more grammatical. So those are the kinds of things we're looking for. Find another job. Find him like okay. Find in. Okay, here's another one. Like, so find it difficult to do something. Find it easier. Find it easy. Find it hard. So again, that's part of the kind of phraseology of find, where we have this construction, very English construction, with find it, and then something like easy, hard, difficult, impossible, and then a few other words, a few other things, mostly in that kind of category, but then find it fascinating. So, there are, and find it frustrating. So there's some very common words occurring in that slot, and then some words occurring less frequently. Let's find itself in the reflexive. Find myself, again, the reflexive form. Find, know something. Find out about. So find out then is a different verb. Find that. Find their way. So rather than find its way, find their way. Themselves, the reflective showing up again. And here's find ways of doing something. Find ways to do something. And then yourself again, the reflexive. So you could imagine just scrolling through, and a few hundred examples here, but you could then kind of get some of the major patterns for the use of the verb find. Okay, so that's the basic concordance search. And then if you go to GraphColl, we can look at the collocations. We can look at the words surrounding find. So here it's based on frequency. The span here is like 5 to 5, like 5 words before, 5 words after. That's too big a span for something as common as find. And we want to kind of look more closely. So let's put the span of 2 words to the left and 2 words to the right. And then we have to do the search again, unfortunately. Yes, it's find the collocates. In this way of doing it, the 4 words, the 2 before and the 2 after, kind of put together and not clearly separated. We can get some sense of what's occurring before find and what's occurring after find. So it's still running. You probably can't see that very well down at the bottom. Okay. So here's the collocates. So whether it's left or right. So to, will, so on. And to the right, then we have themselves, way, new, hard, difficult, etc. Okay, so left is the words preceding, right is the words after. This is a kind of a ranking based on the statistic. Okay, so that's one kind of collocate list for the word find. And if we look at the graph, these words over here, perhaps a little bit hard to see, with things like will and need, able, help, surprised, hoping, began. So these are the words kind of to the left, preceding find. Here, to find's very close, very strong, to find. And then finder, finder, and so on. Find it, again, kind of following, we saw that. And then here over on the right, we have things like evidence and solution and work. And then the reflexives and so on. So this is giving us a sense of the words associated with find. Kind of not set phrases, but kind of very commonly occurring words. So you can kind of play with the statistics and try different words. The display is a little bit hard to read, but also is quite nice to see in one go all the words associated with find.